I just heard it this morning and it blew my mind. Like, oh my goodness, this is the unblinded movement. It's pure energy, pure love, pure connection.
Hey, Yamile, I'm introducing Kirk. One of my buddies, Kirk, is on the call today. Kirk, I want to ask you a quick question. As a jeweler, you said you were working privately. I've never experienced anybody privately as a jeweler because A, I don't buy that much jewelry, and B, I definitely don't buy too many wedding and engagement rings. I've only done one of each. But like the cool thing about this ecosystem of people, I think you're going to notice right away is that sounds like a very different way of doing business. You probably have to build a lot of rapport and have great relationships with people because you're advertising, but your business is mostly word of mouth. And it's not like you have a sign on the street saying, come on in and get some jewelry. You're in a private office. So yeah, building relationships and rapport is probably even more important in your business. So I think that's pretty interesting being from the jewelry world, but not being in the retail space.
Yeah, because you know, I never had capital to have inventory, so I had to build it out of pretty much nothing. So what angle that I hit was the angle of like customization. So I make people realize what they're getting different when they're working to create what they want, as opposed to just buying something generic that's going to be like cheaper quality but just at a higher price. So I walk people through like the step-by-step process. I get them what they want, just a lot better quality at probably a lot more like affordable price.
Cool.
Wow, I think we all want you.
Yeah, it's my business grew from like trust, really, like trust and like just relationships.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm sorry, I got disconnected, but that is for sure what this is all about, especially because most people going into it, dealing, like you said, with private clients, unless you're dealing with high-end people who are buying diamonds on a regular basis, they're looking for something that they're going to be having for their lives and something that's very important to them. So they need that trust, that connection for sure.
Yeah.
I would even maybe even hook you up. I don't know what sort of business you could do together, but I might even hook you up with this other guy who is helping out all those young families, and maybe you guys can work together. I don't know.
That would be appreciated, of course.
For sure. But that's what now, Kirk. Now you sort of see what this is all about a little bit.
Hello.
Good morning, Fernando.
What's happening, Craig? I loved your video yesterday. And what were we just talking about? What's going on? What's happening here?
We got somebody new on the phone. Jay, you guys want to introduce your boy?
Yeah. Fernando, I'd like you to meet Kirk. Kirk, meet Fernando and the rest of the Unblinded crew. Kirk was just sharing a little bit about what he does. He's a jeweler, but he's a jeweler in a different way. He is a personal and private jeweler, basically, and he works mainly off referrals and building relationships and rapport. So I actually follow Kirk. I went to high school with Kirk, but I actually follow him also on Instagram and Facebook, and he's always throwing out inspiration and nuggets of great value. So I knew he'd love this group, and the first thing that he did this morning was share his heroic identity, and everybody jumped right on.
That is Fernando. Absolutely incredible. Hey, Kirk, what's happening, brother? Please.
Good.
Absolute pleasure to meet you. I know Jay is an incredible man, and whoever he brings into his world and his ecosystem has been of the highest caliber. So thank you, for waking up wherever you are in the world and being here with us at the Unblinded movement at 8:30 in the morning.
I appreciate that.
Awesome.
Fernando, it's a hint for you.
Say again?
He's a jeweler. He's hint for you. He's a jeweler, a personal jeweler.
I love that.
It's a hint for me too. What's your Instagram handle? I want to look. This is Darcy.
That's awesome. All the ladies love in jewelry. Yamile just gave me a hint that I should propose to Martha. So let's jump in with that on this fun Friday. And that's some fun energy. Thank you, Yamile, for saying that. And I appreciate you bringing me into the space. This is a day of excitement, a day of acceleration, and 7 days away from some of the biggest and greatest magic that has ever hit the world of sales and influence. So thank you for all of you for being here. It's 8:31. So I want to check in. Jared, are you here with us?
I am here. Hello, everybody.
That's awesome, brother. Jump
Can you hear
in.
me okay? Yes.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up on this fun Friday? I mean, we just had our morning huddle. I would say the Unblinded team is on fire. I know what we were talking about, and I want to have this land for each of you because we're all doing big things. I think that's the thing that excites me most about this movement is everybody's up to something, like up to something big, and it's about to get bigger. Or you've been thinking about doing something big, and now you're ready to execute on big because you found a home. You found a place where there's an incredible sense of belonging, where there's an incredible sense of drive and accountability. So think about this right now. In 28 minutes, it launches next week. 7 days from today, in 28 minutes, 7 days and 28 minutes, it's kickoff time. The Unblinded Sales Mastery Immersion kicks off in 28 minutes, 7 days from today at the Meadowlands Expedition Center in Secaucus, New Jersey. And in 7 days and 28 minutes, that means that this movement just reaches an entirely new level. Because here's what's fascinating. So many of you in this group feel like you know each other, right? Like there's this incredible sense of belonging that exists within Unblinded right now. Everybody feels like they know each other, and maybe like 5% of you actually know each other, and the other 95% like virtually know each other. You know each other because you're jumping on Facebook Lives. You know each other because you're posting and commenting on each other's captions and things of that nature. But in 7 days and 27 minutes now, you're gonna physically know each other. And realize how significant that is, to be able to take this virtual relationship and make it extremely real. Now, how does that support you? What's gonna happen January 10th, 11th, and 12th is gonna be magical because outside of really immersing yourself into integrity-based human influence, it's an opportunity to come and physically merge ecosystems with other people that are up to something. And that's what this movement is about. Whether that up to something falls within the domain of health or real estate or finance or veterinary work or network marketing or whatever you're up to, when you can physically come together, like what's gonna happen in 7 days and 27 minutes, it takes it to the next level. But here's where it gets us excited at the Unblinded team. We have been fanatically focused, which is what I'm gonna ask all of you to do for the next 7 days. Be fanatically focused on one outcome. Fanatically focused on one outcome. And that one outcome was to get 1,501 people to join us for the event. And we will now surpass that because that was our fanatical focus. And this is the power of focus. When you can pick a target and there is no plan B, you're not giving yourself an out. There's just a target. There's one plan. It's plan A, which means that's the only outcome is plan A. And you make that your fanatical focus, which means you double down on it. You fanatically talk about it. You ecosystem merger times 10 around it. It's nearly impossible not to hit that target. The only reason why businesses or people miss targets is because they have too many of them. But more importantly, they have a plan B. If this doesn't work, okay, I guess I could just do this. I'll settle for this. But that's the fast track to mediocrity. So when we committed about 5 weeks ago to go all in, fanatical focus on filling January 10th, 11th, and 12th, there was no plan B. There wasn't like, oh, we'll just like partition the room off if we don't sell enough tickets. No, there was no option for that. The only option was 1501. Period, point blank, end of story. So my question for you, as you're sitting here on this fun Friday, because it's fun to get focused, is what is your fanatical focus? We just entered into 2020. I would have to guess that when the ball dropped, there was something different for you this year, right? It just felt different than previous years. Maybe it's the beginning of the decade. Maybe it's the fact that it's a new year and last year was great, or it was challenging, you're ready for a new beginning, or maybe it's because you're part of this movement and it just feels different. You can't figure out why, it just feels different. One of the reasons it feels different is because there's a huge level of accountability when you show up for morning huddles, when you immerse yourself within a Facebook group, and when you show up to live in-person events like January 10th, 11th, and 12th. But what if it also felt different? Because unlike previous years, where maybe there was many different focuses and the outcome was mediocre across all focuses, what if this year there was a fanatical focus, a singular focus with regards to what you were about to produce? And what if this fanatical focus ends up contributing to your unique hero identity? What if that was the outcome? Because one of the things that now falls within the unblinded hero identity is that within 2.5 months, we went from having 100 tickets in circulation to over 1,500, close to 2,000. And we didn't run one Facebook ad to achieve that. We didn't do anything that everyone else says you should do. We just lived within the formula. We merged ecosystems times 10. We opened up new relationships with hello and got to yes really quickly by staying within the formula. That's the power of fanatical focus. And working over the past 10 years with over 100,000 small business owners in various forms, the fast track to falling short of your desired outcome is having too many desired outcomes. So what if this year was different for you? What's your fanatical focus? And let's really scale it back, because maybe that's too big to think about one fanatical focus for 365 days. What's your fanatical focus for the next 7 days? Or more importantly, for the next 10 days? So between now and the end of Unblinded Sales Mastery Immersion, what is your fanatical focus? What's your plan A? The only plan that matters, the one thing that you will achieve. Now you might say to yourself, oh, I don't know, Jared, there's so many things that I want to do. Pick the one that moves your life forward in the most significant way, and then go all in on it. And don't think about all the other things that you could have done. Think about what you chose in the first place. This is the power of fanatical focus. If we did not do that on the Unblinded side, we would have fell short of this outcome. We would have probably had about 400 or 500 people there, which would have been good, right? I mean, first event, it's not like we have like clients or users or anybody we're promoting this to. So that's pretty successful, but that wasn't the focus. The fanatical focus was one thing, 1,501. And not only do we accomplish it together, and we're including you in that together, this is not just an unblinded internal thing, this is an unblinded movement thing, because so many of you played such a significant role in this. The reason we were able to do this was because we all had that focus. We ended up getting a new venue as a result of this as well. That's the power of fanatical focus. We talk about this every day. Every morning we have our own Unblinded team huddle. I know people like Jay Levine are like, can I get on that huddle, man? That sounds awesome. And we talk about what's our fanatical focus for that day. And we're really focused on the fanatical focus. And because we have a whole team focused on the fanatical focus, it leads to the kind of outcome that we were able to produce. But guess what? We're no different than you. We just don't have a plan B. We have one plan, and it's plan A. So here's my question. I'm going to encourage somebody to speak out right now. What's your fanatical focus for 2020? What's that singular thing where there is no plan B? There's only one plan. It's plan A. And I ask of you, I challenge you to share it right now with this movement to get everybody else who are thinking about that as well.
Hey, Jared, it's Sean. I've been listening to you.
You're on a plane. I'm sorry.
Yeah, brother. No. I gotta listen. Keep going. I just want to. I've been here the entire time, from beginning rolling. It's been awesome. Keep it up, brother. And I'll jump in at the end. So go ahead.
Cool. Awesome. Well, welcome back. Amazing. So, who has a fanatical focus that they want to share?
Hey guys, what's up? It's Tony Rodriguez. How's it going?
What's up, Tom?
Hey Sean, what's up, man? Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year again. I know but it's still day 3, so we can still say and do that.
Yeah, bro.
My fanatical focus this year, I've been guided over the last couple of years. I've been kind of being pushed in a certain direction, and this year, again, aside from obviously supporting you guys and being here and growing with you guys, and this ecosystem merging is fantastic. Talking to a lot of people about it, so I'm excited for this event. One of the purposes of my life, and you guys have heard it said by Tony and other people in many ways, is to also ease suffering and to help people grow through what they go through. So my focus this year is I'm already scheduled to speak on several stages throughout the year, so I'm excited for that. And I'm also starting my own event called Get Up and Grow that some of you are already familiar with, where helping people grow through what they go through. And it's 2020 is the year of foresight, instead of just looking back in hindsight, having the foresight for this year. So the year's looking bright. I'm excited for it. While there are other things that I'm still working on, that is my number one focus for this year, is to just impact as many lives as possible and just help people grow through what they go through. Because until they do, they just keep growing. They just keep going through the same thing over and over again. So that's my focus for this year, is to get events going, get things going, to impact as many lives as possible. So that's what my focus is.
Yeah.
And it's funny, and just to cut you off for a second, sorry about that, Sean, is I was having this conversation with someone yesterday, and I said, holy shit, to combine one thing or to talk about a combination of ecosystems, I said, because you know what, we all have to grow through what we go through, because until we do, we're actually blind, right? So it's actually part of being unblinded is growing through what you're going through. So I just thought that was a fascinating combination, and I was having this conversation with someone about unblinded yesterday.
No, absolutely, brother. And so Tony, phenomenal, and you're up to extraordinary things in the world, and I'm incredibly appreciative of this dynamic. So often in the world of growing, like growing through what you're going through, right, of unblinded, folks have competitive dynamics, ego-filled dynamics, and they see ways and mechanisms that things don't fit together, as opposed to seeing the way things do fit together. It's exclusive, it's not inclusive, it's a scarcity mindset, not an abundance mindset. And one of the extraordinary pivotal benefits I am 1,000% certain of with Unblinded is that we don't see it that way. Like Mike Crouppen and Rob Gill, right? Like Mike's this, incredible, dynamic, celebrity, sports star, like world of insurance with Deborah Gaylord, and like Rob is doing this unbelievable job and about building and scaling everything that's going on with Epic. And instead of seeing this as like a competitive dynamic, it was like, let's come together and build something completely and totally extraordinary. And that's a credit to, not only obviously Mike Crouppen and Deborah Gaylord, but Rob Gill at the highest level. And so many of the people here. And Tony, thank you, for being you and everything that's going on in the world and how this is coming together that way. Because everybody wins when there's expansion of the ecosystem. So thank you, brother, for that. And then I was talking to, and Jared, you're still driving, brother, but I just, jumping in for a moment, and we'll get any other people sharing their fanatical focus. I was talking to Jay Abraham yesterday for a bit, and we had this unbelievable conversation with Jay about a bunch of different things. But one of the things was like really drilling down into what we're going to do during his segment on Saturday. And as we drilled into what Jay's going to do in his segment on Saturday, we were like endlessly talking about one, like as you're saying, one fanatical focus. And Jay's got so much extraordinary content and so much that's going on, but the conversation was so rooted in a breakthrough, not only like intellectually, not only in an entertainment level, but a true breakthrough in how people are showing up and they're thinking in the world about leveraging their time through business development, and how uncommon that is, even though people are brilliant, even though people have heard things, how lacking in conditioning we are for coming from a place of ecosystem merging. So Jay's entire dynamic during those hours is going to be about creating this radical shift in everything that we're doing with like everything that we're up to in the world. And then we're going to go into this whole huge dynamic of application of that during this like intense round of using people's different business dynamics and everything that they're up to in the world to use this as examples in just like a nonstop lesson after lesson breakthrough, like transitional element. And that's after we crush it by laying down tremendous foundational work, not only in some elements of self-mastery as it relates to sales and marketing on Friday, but in really drilling into the formula at the highest level, and then hitting like ecosystem merging from every perspective with a person that literally transformed my thinking 22 years ago. And he's going to be there doing it together with all of us. And for me, this is like an absolute dream come true. So when you talk about like fanatical focus, one of the things that just explodes out for me, Jared, is I'm sitting with Jay Abraham for 4 hours doing like a dual
I'm just listening
dynamic.
to this call. I'm muted, so.
Yeah, doing like a dual, whoever just said that, you're not muted actually, but it's awesome. So doing like a dual dynamic, doing like a dual dynamic of like everything that's happening in the world, right? Of like ecosystem merging acceleration, and thinking 22 years ago, this is like one of my idols. And we're going to be here today, like crushing it. And second, 22 years ago, when I first started studying that work, I was $100,000 in debt from law school. I had no prospect of potentially building a business. I didn't have a single relationship in the world. I had no idea how to acquire any relationships. And I remember sitting in my bedroom, in my apartment, and writing down that not only was I going to buy a house, but a beach house. Now, that's not, material outcomes are, not the primary outcome that drive us in the world, but they certainly matter, and they mattered a lot to me. I had visions of having a family, and, my son, and, was soon on the way, and my daughters. And I just thought of having this dream. And in 12 months, I went from having no possibility of even thinking I could launch a business to buying, at the time, my dream beach house in 12 months. And I don't talk a lot about material things on these calls, but for some of us, we're in a space where increasing our income is pivotal, and having material things are pivotal. So I want folks to know that this is not just about positive and fun and inspiration, motivation, and rising to higher levels of contribution. It is about all of those things. But it's also about creating breakthroughs and massive acceleration in the income that we're creating, the time freedom we're creating. And this happened in my life in 12 months, 20 years ago. In 12 months, 20 years ago, went from a place of having no concept of how any of it could happen to standing on top of my beach house, looking at the ocean, hearing the waves crashing, and couldn't believe in that. And when every single time to this day, when I go to that house, and a number of you have been there, right? We've done 3 different, mini 2-day immersions, just seeding this entire process and building relationships and merging ecosystems. Every single time I go there, when I walk to the house, I go up to the roof deck, and I remember feeling the feelings of what it was like to be in that space. And every time I leave, every single time I leave, I go back up to the top, and I remember that feeling. And I've committed to doing that every single time. So what this is about is it's about breakthroughs now, as Jared was saying, now for fanatical focus. It's about conditioning that in and having proximity together. And I give you so much credit for being here every day. So many of you are here every single day, and that's what this is about. And we are going to crush it together, creating that new level of acceleration. So Jared, do you want to pick it up with any more fanatical focus shares like Tony did? That's a little bit of mine, because that happened just yesterday. It was so present for me with Jay. And thank you, Jared. So you want to keep driving, brother?
Yeah, awesome, man. Awesome. I love it. Anybody else have a quick fanatical focus before we wrap it up for this week?
I have one.
I have a quick up.
Cool. We'll do 2. Go for it. Emilia, was that you?
Yeah, and I think the other one was my husband. I don't even know where he's at, but that's awesome. This is amazing. Sean, thank you so much. So 12 months, 20 years ago, 12 months, and you did it by yourself. Now you all have brought us into this fanatical purpose. Can you imagine, we're just bending time and space and reality. 12 months maybe could be 1 month for us. And our fanatical purpose is process, execution, and agreement formation as we help ecosystems design and align the lives that they want to live, that we all want to live. So we are crazy fans of process and execution now.
Awesome.
Hey, Jared, it was
Cool.
Brad. I had a really quick.
It was Brad.
One.
Go for it, man.
I had a kind of an interesting phone call come Monday from the #1 coach in the Tony Robbins ecosystem. He said, I just got off the phone with Tony, and he said to call you immediately because he's going to gift you 12 free sessions for you and your dad each. So that was kind of a miracle for me. And I kept calling him out. I was like, are you serious? He's like, yes. I go, you did not just get off the phone with Tony Robbins. Stop lying to me. He goes, I just got off the phone with him. But to your point on focus, when the business went sideways 4 months ago, I had absolutely nothing in my name, but I had one focus, and it was I knew I could help. I knew I could serve in some way to this mission, and I just kept plugging in. And then to go from absolutely nothing really, really quickly to the position that my father and I are in so quickly has been nothing short of a miracle. So that focus for me of no matter what shit you're going through, you can always serve, you can always help, and you can always bring value in some miraculous way. So just keep pushing and keep finding a way to focus on how can I deliver value to a relationship.
Awesome, man. And look what you were able to manifest today. Jay-Z on Spotify. It's an inside joke on the Unblinded team. But Brad is pretty pumped about that. His morning shower had some extra beat going on. Yes.
My poor wife is at 7:30 in the morning. I'm blaring Jay-Z, and she's like, "What is wrong with you?" I was like, "Jay-Z's back on Spotify."
Dude, that is awesome. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So.
Cool.
And listen, I want to put out one challenge as we go on Friday. And Brad, I'm going to give you this challenge and everybody on this line. We are at a place where, you hear names of folks that are big names in personal development world. We hear names like influencers, that sort of thing. What I want to challenge people to do is I want to challenge people to reach out to people in that category, like Tim Ferriss, Gary Vaynerchuk, and challenge them to be there on January 10, 11, and 12, but not to make an appearance, not for us, to wear a hat and sunglasses and come into that space and to learn. Because there's massive things that these people have the ability, merging ecosystems with us, that brings to us, but massive things in learning and opportunity brings to them. So be extraordinarily bold, leaders at the highest level, reach out and have conversations with them about them coming, because everybody needs to continue to learn and grow. I spend $250,000 a year in the space of Tony Robbins learning and growing. We have plenty to give to every single one of those people, because quite frankly, there's not a single one of them that a neutral set of facts could out-debate me, out-influence me on a neutral set of facts. So there's extraordinary things for those people to learn coming into this environment at the highest level. So I challenge everybody to reach out boldly in that way, number one. Number two, that reach out boldly, that includes like presidents of BNI chapters, presidents of LATIP chapters, presidents of chambers of commerce, presidents of professional organizations in your state, around you, in places where you're building your ecosystem. It's time to move boldly. I've told the stories, some of you may have heard it, some of you may have not. I've told the stories that in one ecosystem merger in that first year, which was with the New Jersey Chiropractic Society, that built my firm, along with one other thing, my original firm, back in the late 90s. And when I sold the firm, that relationship has continued to feed the family of the person that I sold the firm to for 2 decades, that chiropractic relationship. One ecosystem merger. So if we're talking about your acceleration, the acceleration of the movement, build that with you there. And one of the things I'm challenging everybody at Caligula, everybody at Epic, everybody in the Unblinded movement is to realize that it's your immersion. Don't say that, it's your immersion. It's your immersion to have people there with you that you're building with, that you're leading, and your leadership is centered on teaching everyone what they want to learn, which is how to make more money in less time with more magic. When you assert yourself in that position of leadership and you increase your level of mastery, everything goes from there. And that's how I built everything I've ever built. I built Caligula teaching people this. This is how I built it. I wasn't charging them at that time, right? I built it this way. So you position yourself as the person people want to merge ecosystems with when you're a leader in helping them get what they want, which is more money in less time with more magic. Jared, any final comments, thoughts?
Sorry, I was mute. So final. We are now 7 days and 5 minutes from launch. Who's ready? Because I know we are. And I know you are as well. So we can't wait to see you. Just some housekeeping. If you have guests that are meant to come, we need their name and email by Tuesday of next week. That's not like a fake sense of urgency. That is the cutoff, because we have name badges to print. We have manuals. Everything's getting in full motion at that point. So please give us a call at the Unblinded phone number. And the Unblinded phone number is 863-862-5463. So please get us the name and email of all of your guests. If there's new people that you want to bring, call 863-862-5463 so we can get them registered We have 4 minutes and 7 days until launch. We can't wait to see you soon. We appreciate you. Remember, together we achieve more. Bye for now.
Yep. All right, have an awesome day. Happy Fun Friday. Let's go get it. You move boldly today. Move boldly.
Have a great day, buddy.
Happy Fun Friday. Take it easy, guys.